Oh boy, do I have a real kicker of a story for you today. I'm not sorry about that. Deal with it. Before we get into that, I have another update for you on a #EverythingIsSexist story that I covered a while back. Amherst College settles due process suit with blacked out male it called rapist. More than 2 years after he sued Amherst College for declaring him a rapist because a female student sexually molested him while blacked out, the second-generation Asian American plaintiff known as John Doe has achieved a measure of justice. A federal judge in Boston dismissed the litigation Wednesday following a settlement that the parties brought before the court Friday. Links in the description to that article if you would like to look into it further. I'm not going to go too much in depth because this is a video for a completely different topic, but I will say this about the settlement. While I am happy for John Doe that he managed to reach a settlement, I find this victory kind of bittersweet, as it means that the case will be dismissed. There will be no exposure of bias within the college Title IX system, no real precedent set that says this will not go unexposed or unpunished. No true progress that would help anyone in the future. Perhaps one day we will get that groundbreaking case that does make a difference, but as of right now, we're just kind of But enough about some days and maybes and hopefullys. You came here to be enraged and entertained by my antics, and I've got you covered. Not only is there a male victim of bias to the extreme within our #EverythingIsSexist story today, but there is also a female victim. I know, right? It's weird in a #EverythingIsSexist story to have a female victim. This is a story about male victimization and sexism against men, and how we demonize men. And it is. It's just hilarious and ironic, and this story is much like my relationship with Robbie Rotten.
Excuse me, do you have any soda?
I have water.
Water? That was a good one. Who am I?
I was a great birthday fairy.
Whom I love dearly because he is such an amusing spectacle of outrageousness, but also hate because you're supposed to hate him. He's the villain of Lazy Town. Kicker: Matt Bormister was removed from USC after an unfair investigation, girlfriend says. Wait for it. The girlfriend of former USC kicker Matt Bormister said Sunday that the Title IX investigation that led to his removal from the school's football team was horrible and unjust to her and Bormister. Wait for it. Zoe Katz, 22, a senior, said in a 2-page statement her attorney emailed to The Times that Bormister had been falsely accused of conduct involving me. Kat confirmed that the statement was hers. Her attorney, Carrie L. Steigerwaltz, said that USC alleged that Bormister shoved Katz outside her home. USC suspended Bormister in February while the school investigated what is called a student conduct issue. There it is! But what does this entail exactly? Did she falsely accuse him? Nope. What really happened was just so... Mark Schmel, an attorney representing Bormister, said Bormister was not permitted to return to USC following the school's investigation, in which USC alleged that Bormister assaulted Katz. Katz has denied this, as did Bormister, through his attorney. The university alleged that she had been the victim, without even so much as a confirmation from the person whom they are alleging is the victim. This one's a real head-scratcher, guys. And they just go ahead and discipline the guy without a cooperating victim, without an actual primary complaint from said person, with, in fact, a statement reaffirming that this is false. So, not only is the alleged assaulter denying that anything happened, but the alleged assaultee is denying it as well. This is gold, but in the fool's gold sense. I don't know if I should laugh or if I should cry. I think I'll do both. What this means is that colleges no longer think they need a cooperating victim to punish people in the Title IX sense, as in whatever the college says is the case. No victim necessary. Not even, we already know about the lack of evidence being unnecessary. I'm shaking a little bit. This is getting me a little bit riled up. In the statement, Katz said she and Bormister have dated for more than a year. The Title IX investigation began, Steigerwaltz said, after a neighbor witnessed Bormister and Katz roughhousing. The neighbor told his roommate, who told a coach in USC's athletic department, that Bormister was abusing Katz. The coach then reported the incident to the Title IX office. Those friggin' neighbors and their pesky noses butting into people's business. Listen, I was not there. I don't know what exactly went down, but I can say this for certain. Sometimes people in relationships roughhouse. For instance, both me and my boyfriend are martial artists. So it's no surprise if either of us are going at it with the other to practice our sparring or any number of moves that we both know. Perhaps these two aren't martial artists and have no formal training. Okay. But it is not unheard of for two adults to roughhouse with each other in a playful manner, a casual, affectionate shove, or in some cases, an intense and passionate, enthusiastic shove, sometimes against a wall, or onto a bed. You know what I'm getting at. These types of things are consensual acts of passion, love, and affection that can be deemed as somewhat aggressive, but in a good way. In a good way. What we have to remember is that not everyone likes the vanilla type lifestyle. No judgment for that. At least from me. It would seem that USC has different, stricter, and more prudish opinions about how others should engage in their relationships, and hence feel the need to strictly punish those who don't conform to their ideal lifestyle of what a relationship entails. Not authoritarian at all. What are you, the High Sparrow?
Rich or poor, noble or common, if we sin, we must atone.
Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense, you bastards. No one liked it when the Christians were telling the gays that they couldn't get married and have copious amounts of butt sex. But I digress. Kat says she was summoned to a mandatory meeting with Title IX officials where she told investigators that the two were playing around. Kat was subsequently told that she must be afraid of Matt, she said. She told officials she was not. Burmeister has not been arrested or charged with a crime. I will say this, domestic violence is an absolutely horrible and evil thing. It can happen to anyone. The thing to remember in these situations is that it's the victim's prerogative to come forward in some way or to get out of the situation altogether. If they don't, then there's not really much anyone can do. You cannot force a person to do anything about anything. If that were the case, I'd make my brother do all the dishes and talk to our mother for me instead of doing those things myself. Sucks, I know. If there's something going on and you have the utmost evidence that says there is something going on, then yes, do what you can. However, and this is a big however that you should really take into consideration. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with but. But if you have no evidence, save for well, Brittany told me that Jamie said that Angela posted on Twitter that she heard from Kate that blah blah blah. The person is vehemently denying it, and there is no prior history of domestic abuse in a year-long relationship, as I would assume since there was no mention of any prior calls, then that person is fine, and you can stop being a paranoid fuck. Although, I am one to talk since I sleep with a knife under my pillow, so... Anyway, you don't essentially gaslight a person who's telling you they're not a victim into thinking that they are in fact a victim. What if I kept telling you that, hey, you like pineapple on pizza, when you in fact did not like pineapple on pizza, and then my justification was, oh, you're just afraid of pineapple on pizza. Which technically is understandable, I get it. I mean, it's freaky looking when it's in its natural full-grown form, and then you eat it, and the bromelain enzymes, they just break down the proteins the moment it hits your lips, which means it's essentially eating you back. That's fucking metal, but that's also fucking creepy, man. I'm not gonna lie. No. I do not have an irrational fear of pineapples, thank you very much. With that amount of information, it's perfectly rational to fear pineapples. You cotton-headed nitty muggins, don't judge me. Anyway, just imagine that this scenario about the pineapple on the pizza was what this college had suspended Matt Burmeister for. Ridiculous, right? Well, so is this, because nothing of consequence occurred. When I told the truth about Matt in repeated interrogations, I was stereotyped and was told I must be a battered woman, and that made me feel demeaned and absurdly profiled, Kat said. I understand that domestic violence is a terrible problem, but in no way does that apply to Matt and me. Kat said that she has never been abused, assaulted, or otherwise mistreated by Matt. And here is where my blood really starts to boil. While the rest of this tale is certifiably insane in the way that Crazy Steve was from Drake and Josh,
can I please take a break?
You will take a break when Dora finds her way to that banana tree. Come on, Dora, it's right over there. Obre los ojos. Come on.
It's one of my biggest issues with feminism. This concept of faux victimization. In this instance with Kat, it's she must be a battered woman. Otherwise, What is the other explanation? Oh, maybe it's just that nothing happened. Or with me and my insistence that the patriarchy doesn't exist and that women are equal to men in the Western world. It's internalized misogyny. I see parallels. Yes, I do. I'm not crazy, I swear. I find it incredibly sexist that while men are perpetually associated with constant predatory, aggressive, maniacal agendas, women are just the victims of those agendas, even when they aren't, even when they're the aggressor. For instance, in the case of Amherst College, quote, she, the accuser, has been shielded from deposition by a different judge who argued unconvincingly that it would traumatize her despite ample evidence she had lied about the allegation. Or when they're just a woman who happens to disagree or want to have a conversation, as is the case with so many. It turns out they suffer from a serious affliction of internalized misogyny. For instance, Lacey Green. That's word should be enough. And if it's not, then who really is disempowering women in this instance? Because it's not her boyfriend, it's not the patriarchy, maybe it's feminism and Title IX. Burmeister, who kicked the game-winning field goal for USC in the Rose Bowl, was suspended from USC, then barred from campus and from meeting with USC's athletic trainers or members of the football team. The school also barred Burmeister from contacting cats. Apparently, institutions of higher learning can bar people from contacting their significant others. I was unaware that this was the case. Is that in the terms of service when you go to college? I mean, I know about no contact orders, but that's usually done at the victim's request, not without the victim's consent and, against the victim's wishes, but what do I know? How nice of them to issue such an unwelcome gesture of authoritarian boundary overstep out of the goodness of their hearts. What do I get if I vehemently deny sexual assault? A restraining order against my boyfriend?
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
A bit of advice to colleges everywhere. It's not an ideal recruitment practice to make the students your bitches. A spokesman for USC in an emailed statement to the Times said that the university has concluded its investigation. Student disciplinary records and proceedings regarding any matter of student conduct are confidential and protected by law. Per the register, he is no longer enrolled at the university. So the couple was put through hell, the girl interrogated and gaslighted, the male removed from his team, suspended, and eventually expelled. These two, in true Romeo and Juliet fashion, barred from contacting each other, all on the back of some voyeuristic, prudish narc who thought roughhousing at his worst and shoving at best constituted as domestic violence. If roughhousing was what we held as the standard for something this serious, my cousins, my brother, and I would have been taken away from handcuffs from each other at the ripe old age of 6, 5, 4, and 3 years. Kat said the Title IX office made her feel misled, harassed, threatened, and discriminated against, and caused her to hire an attorney. The Title IX office's response was dismissive and demeaning, she said. In the statement, Kat said she is coming forward now to clear Burmeister's name and lobby for change in the Title IX office's investigative procedures. Matt Burmeister did nothing improper against me, ever, Kat said. I would not stand for it, nor will I stand for watching him be maligned and lied about. Go Cats! That's the type of girl you want gunning for you in life. Title IX, really batting 1,000 these days, aren't ya? On Monday, USC issued another statement. USC stands by its investigation and the accounts provided by multiple witnesses. Hold up. There was one witness to one event, the neighbor, who told his roommate, who told his coach. Who of those people do not count as witnesses? So you have one witness. Nothing else. As previously stated, student disciplinary records are confidential. If the student involved waives their confidentiality rights, the university will offer a detailed response. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Listen and believe is bullshit. But I'll add a footnote onto that. Listen and believe is bullshit, especially if it's coming from an outside observing third party who doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. Breathe, Weebo. If you have any anecdotes, stories, or videos that would go along with the #EverythingIsSexist series that I'm doing, you can email me them at weebo0jones@gmail.com with the subject line #EverythingIsSexist, or at me on Minds or on Twitter at weebojones with the #EverythingIsSexist. If you like what I'm doing with this channel and you want to help me improve it with better editing software, audio equipment, an actual camera, maybe, I don't know, please consider supporting me on Patreon or taking a look at my Teespring store. Look at what I'm wearing. My first t-shirt I've ever sold to myself. It's kind of sad, but oh well. So that we can really amp up the production quality of this bitch. links and everything to all of this stuff, the article, the Teespring store, the Patreon, the email, all of that jazz is in the description.